Hey, so I'm on my way to Mount Seaview. BMW are running the Masterclass over the next 4 days, so I'll be doing a bit of off-road training, pick up my skills, which if you've been watching my other videos, you'll realise I need a bit of improvement. Anyway, I've just stopped on the M1 just south of Newcastle just to fill up the tank and also get something to eat. See ya. Well, I must say, first impressions of the Mount Seaview resort are pretty good. This is the view from outside of my room. There's the Mount Seaview resort, and day one of our adventure with BMW on their Masterclass, learning some new skills.
Gear up.
Makes sense? Yeah.
Any questions?
So yeah, no dramas at all. If you do crash happen, is you get a white smoke screen when you start. It's pretty funny. I've had one of those once. Look, if we area is and how it all is, think about how you're going to get the bike up. So probably a good idea to visor up, jacket unzipped, cool off a little, like just take a breath and don't rush it. So say this is a slope going this way, it's much easier to pick the bike up from the high side so the wheels are facing down the hillside. It's like that. Don't be afraid to drag the bike around a little bit. You'll find something. Grass is fine, not going to scratch it up anymore, but if you're crashing, your wheels are up a hill, you'll never pick it up that way. So you've got to get the bike around in a way that's easier for yourself to pick it up. Bars full lock, so his wheels facing up the hill, and he tries to get the best leverage angle that he can. So he's facing gets his legs on either side of the handlebars. Okay, over either side of the mirror. From there, he locks his hands under the grip. He's not holding the grip. It's under the grip. I personally leave my gloves on so anything doesn't dig into your hands so much. I think it's once again makes it a little bit easier on yourself. So under there, when he goes to the lift, he'll go 1, 2, 3, lift, and then he steps in and gets his hip into the side of it so that he can have a rest. Okay, so you finish that bit. Hip in, and right there he can take his hands off. You can. You know, at that point he's got that wedge, you can have a rest, far out. Got that up, no worries. Fingers over to your front brake, bike all the way up. If he was picking it up the other way, if it was from on its right side up, you could put your side stand down before you start the bike pick up, just so if you go a little far it might catch it for you. Easy.
Same bike.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Well done.
Plug in your boot. Kind of want to kick that into the back of your foot peg. It's a good place to start. Stand up. What we see a lot is people get sucked down and you end up lower, and then your thighs start burning. And so all it is, grip the bike with your legs, and it's just a slight bend at the knees, just enough so that you can use your legs as suspension, soak up little bumps and bounces and all that kind of thing. And then all it is literally just a bend at the hips. And I can reach all my controls and I can stand here for hours, not a problem.
Guys, if you want to talk yourself through the stand position, so I think the stand position is something that you don't have to stand up 100% of the time on a... Bike to go to the left, I just weight the inside, weight my left foot, take weight off my right foot, and what my arms do is, so elbows are up, so your body should stay 90 degrees to flat ground, okay? Elbows, outside elbows up, inside arms straight, body's 90 degrees to flat ground.
There's no wheel turn at all, it's just...
No, you want to avoid just the bike that's leaning. Go as slow or fast as you want. The biggest thing with this forward to back weight distribution is the range of movement that I want you to have. When I say get forward, a lot of riders are like, here. But a lot of riders are like, yeah, I'm forward. And I go, get back, yeah, I'm back. Go forward, that's forward, and that's back. So you've got a massive range of movement there. And once you get comfortable with using that range of movement, you'll be amazed at how different your bike handles and how much energy you save. ABS is active, so it's a long push and hold deactivates ABS when the light's solid.
It's deactivated.
Yeah, so if you've got a solid light on the dash, it's like when you're going to run out of fuel, it's a warning light. So if you've got a solid ABS light, it means don't grab a handful of this thing, yeah. So I'll let Skip talk through. It's just a stop-go exercise, real basic, real steady, but you can add a little bit of speed into it and start to brake harder and harder and harder. but don't go fast because you don't need to tuck the front. So I'll... creek crossing or river crossing or whatever it may be, but the exit and that slipper, it's good for your throttle and clutch control and balance and everything also. This one's, look, it's obviously not deep, not technical, but once a bike goes through it and it's all murky and you can't see the bottom, it adds a bit of an element to it. You can't see where rocks are, you can't see what's going on as well. But
too fast.
all good. No,
Paddle your way through if you're unsore.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Shut her off.
Yeah. Bugger. That sounded bad.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm alright.
It looks the part now though.
I hope you got it on film.
Sucks. Sorry, man. What a bugger.
No man, as long as it's not broken, right?
No, it's not broken.
Yeah, okay.
Not broken. It sounded. There's a bit of a scratch there, but
Yeah, no, don't mind a
you can
scratch.
fix that.
Yeah, it's all fixable. Okay.
Cool. It was just a little bit speed related. That
You think I just went too hot?
A little bit quick, and then you
Yeah.
hit that big rock and that just
Yeah,
took it.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Where's DR? Oi! Dr. Z!
Yeah. Did you? Look out, here he comes. Good on you, go, go, go. Whoop, keep going. Yeah.
That speed, I've got to do it nice and roll out nice and smooth as well. So that's, we'll demo the deep stuff when we get in there, but through this first bit, just try and keep your vision up, try and stand if you can, and just sort of float along and try and pick some lines. You can look for some firmer stuff. If you need to roll out of the speed, whatever you do, don't just chop the throttle. Don't do that, because that instantly buries the front and it just sucks you down. So if you, you can just roll out of the gas nice, or pull the clutch in, and the brake that pulls you up in the sand. So everything we did yesterday with all the brakes, the brake that pulls you up in the sand is the rear brake. So because it's like throwing the anchor out the back. So if you need to stop quickly, drop your bum to the seat, clutch in, and just jump on the rear brake, and it'll it'll drag you to a stop pretty rapidly. So that's the Enduro Pro deactivates ABS on the rear.
Traction control off.
Traction control. So you have to physically turn traction control off, which is everyone knows how to switch that off. Short was made on the DRZ. You know how to turn your traction off here?
We're doing some sand training. Can't say I'm a fan of sand, and I'm pretty sure these blokes are going to say they're not a fan of sand either. Yeah, well done.
Well done.
This stuff here, I would on a 1200, on a big bike, 100%. Come get to this stuff here, sit down, go back to first gear and get your feet out, and just paddle it through. Don't even, unless you're super confident, super comfortable, to stay on the pegs and ride it through here. Just sit wide, make it hard. It's only a section that goes 100 meters or whatever. So just sit down, paddle it through. You need quite a bit of throttle when you're in this deeper stuff as well. So your throttle use you need the revs up. For those that were stalling it a little bit, when you're in sand, if you roll the throttle back to zero, you know, if something happens, you go back to zero. It's like you're standing on the rear brake, so it just stalls straight away. So you just got to try to never roll the throttle back to zero in this stuff. You just want to keep it ticking the whole time. I'll get Fizz up. Guys, this is actual technique. Don't think that's not a technique. This is absolutely a great technique to get through deep sand. Here's a throttle use. He's got he needs some rear wheel spin. If he stops, so if he lets it stop or he rolls the throttle off and then reapplies, you'll bog. Yep. Oh, you'll get bogged. 100%. Yeah, so there you go. So second. Take your feet off. Let go of the clutch. Let it out. Let the clutch out. Hold the revs on. Yep, bounce. When you go high RPM, try not to slide with your clutch, okay? Yeah, okay. That's it. Hand off the clutch, let the clutch out and hold the revs on. More revs, more revs, more revs, more revs, more revs. Bounce, bounce, more revs, more revs. Don't be afraid, you don't have your hand on the clutch, just... Yeah. When I say you're still covering it, but you've got it all the way out, alright?
It's like a nightmare.
Yeah, it's alright, you're doing good. Bounce, bounce, bounce. That's it, keep the revs up, revs up, revs up.
Yeah, well done.
Holy fuck.
battery, so this is little tool bag. This is first. Air compressor. I carry a bit of safety wire and safety plier too. There are needle lasers, and over the years I've come up with random screws and bolts and nuts. But on my road also is carry a few of them. Yeah, with traction control. Not terrain, mate. No, rain. Two rain.
Walk it up.
And now she's raining.
From here or from
Again, if you've got a rag or something, like lay it on the ground and stick all your bolts and everything on there. Another hot tip.
I just heard it. Say it.
Don't pull the brake lever.
Yeah.
Now you're sitting in your shed at home, your mate come over to help. He goes, oh, your brake lever is a bit floppy. It's a bit sloppy.
What happens if you do that?
It closes the caliper.
And how do you get open again?
Yeah, I know, but do you want to move it around to me?
Got to take the caliper, slip it
Back in.
and try to line up that between two forks, that to get over that. Better off just getting the other one.
It's not going to hurt.
Yeah, because we're not going to put it back
We're
together.
not putting it back together.
Okay.
So another hot tip, if you're in the bush, find a stick and get, you're going to have to push down on the back of the bike and then wedge it up if you're on your own.
Now, tell what was so full of crap.
Have you got the axle socket for the other side?
Oh, that would be a negative. Let's watch Tim learn how to take the front wheel off the 1200 because he's never had to do it before.
Tim's had an 800, literally picked his 1200.
Like, chuck me under the bus. Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that motor, and that Moto Hunter kit that I bought. You can see that little axle.
Okay, so I've loosened those off, obviously so they don't have the clamping effect on the axle, because we need to remove the axle. I kept
Again,
that
when you pull
screwed
your
on the
axle
end.
out, don't just lay it in the dirt. Put it somewhere that's going to stay reasonably clean.
I'm trying to keep the nut on the end to protect the end of the thread, like because I use the hard object there.
The wheel will want to drop when you pull the axle out, so sometimes you need to lift the wheel a little bit and then pull the axle out.
You'd have to drop the calipers right off, do you? Or not?
Don't.
There's a spacer on the side.
There is a spacer there as well.
There's air in there, right?
There's air in there. There's a bit of air in there. Hey Timmy,
Yeah.
you ready?
No, I'm not.
Make sure you get aggressive with this thing.
Not very good at anal ramming.
Yeah.
Like a little worm. So when you push it in there, normally on the side of the road I'd leave my gloves on, because you can, when you pull them out, you whack your hands on the guards and pretty much everything. And it's not the easiest thing to get in, so sometimes you do whack, smash your fingers.
Just be careful too when you've got to use a lot of force to get it in, but then you've got to back it off, because if you just like, you get to a point where it'll drop straight through real easy.
So that's that goes. They just slide in, so it's just about all the way in and stop. This is where you want to get fairly aggressive as well, so why you wear your gloves. That's it.
Cool.
Like get it.
How do you do that with one wheel on the bike?
Hopefully you've got a mate.
Right.
That's it. Done. It's obviously not up all the way around, so.
Not often you have to break the bead on the tubeless ring, not tubeless tyre, right?
No, it's more, you know, you slap on
There a lot
anyway,
more
so,
brutal at
so that's
popping
it.
it off.
Take it off.
Not to put a tube in, you don't have to take the whole tyre off just to get a tube. Highly recommend these little guys. Just that little nip on the end.
Which way does it go though? No way.
What brand are they?
These are just Ballard's ones. The key to this is just little bites.
This is yeah, can you see that?
There is other little things. You can buy rim savers and like stuff like that, but too late now. Yeah.
It's not going to ruin the tyre.
Yeah, we'll to the Gazetted Road. Hey, come get me. I will be.
It's really a third one looks useful, doesn't it?
Three help.
If you have three looks more useful.
You got three, it's better, but you can get it done with two.
Yeah.
Well, you could use another little tool, I see. They're pointing those claws.
Not really necessary.
10, 12.
The hex is on.
Yeah,
The tyre it must be.
Freaking handy, eh?
It is good. Good stuff.
Why?
The only thing you have to be really careful of is that if you don't. I normally start at the valve stem, put the valve stem in, put the nut on, just loosely to start with. It's a shit job. Sometimes you need a.
Of course, we've got the tube in there, so as Skip said, be mindful of pinching it.
So if you've got a tube in there, you've got to be careful putting this back on, not just pinch.
I've got to start here.
You got it started.
So this is where you might do the damage to the tube. Sticking that in there.
And again, once I start feeding the tyre back on, I'd start at the valve stem as well.
So you work on the other side of the valve.
Still sideways. But you know, it's not hard if you take your time and just do little bits.
You go through Walker?
Right,
It's one side.
you know, sometimes you can just give it a
There you
swing.
go.
Yeah, there was one in that. Careful.
AV sensors on the side.
You'd still get it done,
Sure.
but it would be tough. And usually when you're rolling that in, you've got your spacer and the spacer get caught.
I mean, it's probably picking it up too.
Yeah, getting the spacer and the axle back in is like the hardest thing to do.
Banners to do the tyre, instead of worrying about having a socket on that side, you don't leave that pinch
You leave the
bolt
pinch bolt done up, correct.
and you just undo the other one.
Yeah, correct.
Just about to say that.
So those pinch bolts, they go just wind into the axle, do they?
No, just on the...
So just leave it in gear to stop it from turning?
Yes.
Yeah. They will have some torque on them.
Yeah, you kind of don't want your back wheel.
You don't really want your back wheel
passing you
falling
by, I guess.
60 G. There you go.
It's done.
Yeah.
I'll just wiggle it out. Done.
Is that it?
That's it. Yeah, time.
Yeah.
There you go.
Very
You can put it back on.
So if you're going to change the wheel, do it
If you like, you don't have to.
Just with the ride, we'll stop. At Long Flat. If anyone needs to get fuel, we'll pull over, grab some fuel if you need to top up, and then we'll turn off and get on the dirt pretty soon after there, and then we'll stop and talk about cornering and washing off speed. We'll talk about a bunch of stuff. Head from there. Pull up in another town for a coffee. Yeah, we won't stop for too long. Have a coffee and.
How many Ks off? 200, 300?
Oh no, probably.
Yeah, I'll catch up. I'll put it in Enduro Flow.
There's some new customers, but good times. We adjusted and got through with a bit of questionable weather that we had, which was good. And I hope that everyone took something out of it and progressed. And I think after lots, yeah, and I feel like, or I know for sure, you'll keep progressing. It's not just in 4 days. You don't just get everything nailed. You start to get a feel for it, and then over the next couple of months, and as you ride, I think everything will just come to the surface a lot more, and you'll keep building that skill set. I think also you'll probably notice you ride on road. A lot of feedback we get here. Just ride safe. Got through this. Keep it all in check, and bring the bird home safely, so to speak. And
Curve it. Hook him up. Yeah. Hooks curve up. Yep. Steve. What do you mean?
Subscribe now and let's ride.